It's at that time again, that sensational senior segment. We welcome the host of the sensational senior segment, Mary Malloy, with her special guest, Eileen Moskowitz. So take it away, Mary.
Thank you.
And aren't you glad I didn't call you Mary Malone today?
Yes, today. That's okay. I answer to anything. That's all right. Well, thank you once again. It's nice to be here on such a hot day, and it's beautiful in here. The food smells good, and it's really nice and comfortable. I have with me Eileen Moskowitz here. Hello. I know Eileen from Miss New York Senior America. She is Miss Congeniality, currently 2017, as I was 2 years ago. So we're two very congenial people.
Yes, we are.
I think so.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
For the most part.
For the most part, yes, but we have our moods. And honestly, we saw each other yesterday. We entertained at Eileen's invitation at the LGBT headquarters. Is it the headquarters?
It's the LGBT center.
Center.
They have 3 of them. This one is in Bayshore.
In Bayshore, okay.
Yes.
And we were there. They have a lot of events, which I want you to talk about. They have a lot of events. We were there for the pre-dinner. There was a dinner there, but it was for, and this is where the it applies to this segment. It was for gay seniors.
Correct.
Which to me just translates into fun and more fun.
Yeah, definitely. We had a great time.
We did. We had a good time. But I want you to tell me about that. And then I just want to ask you a few questions. Tell me about the weekend and some of the events. And then we'll go into it as a resource and a source for people who are looking for a support group or just some fun things to do. So let me know more about that and tell me, how did the weekend go with these events?
Okay. I don't know if you know or not, but June is Gay Pride Month throughout the world.
Right, yes.
And there are numerous events locally, nationally, internationally. June 24th, on a Sunday, was Gay Pride Parade in New York City, and that's like the official New York State Day.
Right.
We also had a Gay Pride event in Long Beach on the 10th,
Yes.
June 10th, and there are just so many things that are happening right now because we can. You know, this is so different. We were speaking before about how different this is, but let me answer your question about yesterday. Okay, so Jane came to me, our lovely Miss Senior America 2014, and she said, I would love Senior America to hook up with the gay community, of which I am a member. So I said to her, you know what, I'm going to get us an appointment with someone at the center, and we will address the senior crowd there, SAGE. It is Senior Advocacy, and don't ask me the name of it, but it's SAGE long. It used to be simple, Seniors Aging in a Gay Environment, but with all this advocacy, they changed it. So Jane and I went. We booked this date. They were celebrating Pride Month with a dinner dance last night, and she invited us, Amy did, to come in and have our show in the afternoon.
And who is Amy?
Oh, Amy Angelone is the coordinator of all of the senior services for the LGBT Center, which is in Bayshore, Woodbury, and in Queens as well.
Now, we actually were part of that. Howie had an entire weekend, right? We had a rainbow weekend in Long Beach, and we had so many acts on from like Friday to Sunday.
Friday and Saturday. 14 hours of music.
14 hours of straight music, and it was so much fun. We just had so much fun. So now that we do know that there's support out there and a friendly and safe place to go, I want to go back a little bit. We were also discussing this. You know, it's not by all means perfect right now. We still do have a long way to go as a society and as separate communities, and the gay community as well. But being a gay senior, I mean, these are people who had it rough in the 60s and 70s and not accepted. and maybe some of them didn't even come out until they were seniors, and it must have been challenging, I'll say, then, and of course marriages and the legality of things. So talk a little bit about that, about being a senior in the gay community.
Sure. When I was coming up, because I am very much a senior, when I was coming up, I was coming up in the day of Stonewall, which is the mark for gay rebellion and kind of showing the world that we're here. At that time, socializing was so much different. Socializing consisted of bars. They had men's bars, women's bars, and never the twain shall meet.
This was in the 60s, 70s?
In the 60s, 70s, yes. Early 60s, right through till early 70s. And how people met each other was either at the bars, through introduction, or there was something that we called role play. An effeminate man would dress extremely effeminately and carry himself that way, so that when you walk down the street, people would know the bright person. We call it gaydar, not radar.
Yes.
It's gaydar, where you can identify someone with whom you might like to chat or have a cup of coffee. Now we don't have to do that. The schools have gay-straight alliances. The media there are movies, there are shows. The Gay, where Ellen was very instrumental in that coming out in her show. You now have that family show, I can't remember the name of it.
Modern Family?
Thank you, Rocco.
Modern Rocco.
Right, Modern Family.
Right.
And it's become just so prevalent where you don't have to be afraid to say who you are, what you are.
Yeah.
What is still being held back, though, is the transgender community. That's something that's relatively new. There are shows on transgender, 2 of them that I know of. I Am Jazz. She is a young woman who was born male and transitioned at the age of 6 years old. Her parents helped her. And there's also one now called Lost in Transition, with older people who come out and want to find their heart in their senior years.
And some people are doing that now in their senior years.
Yes.
And they went many, many, many years not being able to, or feel that they weren't able to.
Exactly.
Is there, even though there's a lot more networking, a lot more acceptance, and again, we do have a long way to go, is there something that you would suggest or advise a younger person now? I mean, I'm really leading into some kind of support in any way.
Absolutely. The LGBTQ Center addresses the needs of young people, teenagers, and growing, and to the senior years. There is also another agency in Belmore in Nassau County, Pride for Youth, which both of them have Friday evening activities. They have a coffee house. The young people come and they socialize and they talk about things, and it's run by social workers and gay people, and it's a blend of all generations of gay people. And I believe that anyone who is even out in this community, even if you have friends and a social network, it's great to get involved with something bigger than yourself.
That's wonderful.
Eileen, I wanted to ask you a question because came out very prominently this week. Justice Kennedy announced that he is retiring from the Supreme Court, and President Trump has come out and said that he's going to nominate a very conservative judge. So my question to you is the gay community scared that, number one, the the Supreme Court could reverse Roe v. Wade, but even to a further extent, is the gay community a little apprehensive that gay marriage could be reversed with the naming and passing of a very conservative judge? So I want to get your perspective on that.
Sure. Thank you, Harry. That's it, Howie. It really is very. Sorry, I called you Howie.
That's okay.
I mean Harry. Howie. Yes, it is very much on our minds because we have fought for so long to get this, and even though it's not in every state. We will have the statewide, but that limits so many other people in this country from getting the services that they need. And even with it being a federal law that gay marriage is allowed, look what goes on in South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama. People are being discriminated against every single day. Even here, one of our seniors yesterday was telling me that she and her daughter went to a restaurant that they frequent, and this waiter was being harassed by all of the employees in that restaurant because he's gay. And this man feels he has no recourse whatsoever because he's young, in his early 20s, he needs the job, and this is here in a place and a city that is so open and knowledgeable. It's dangerous. It is really, we are in a very dangerous state. Don't get me started on this whole.
Okay.
Well, what we're going to do now, you could look at these. We want to give some information, some phone numbers, some websites, if you want the support, or you're just curious, or you want to see what goes on, or you want to help. Okay, so we're going to give you some information now. You can write that down and let us know.
Thank you, Mary. Again, I'm going back to the LGBTQ center. They have, their SAGE group has a women, SAGE LI Women at Nassau. And they meet at the Woodbury Center on Wednesday evenings. It's a discussion group, which is so important. By the way, the main number for the LGBT network is 631-665-2300. And the website, you can email Amy Angelone directly. It's ANGELONE at lgbtnetwork.org. She is the program coordinator and a wonderful gal. Yes. They also have a mingle series for people to just come and have coffee and mingle. It's at all of the centers. Good, Rocco, if you'll take a picture of that. They're even out in the Hamptons, believe it or not.
Ooh, good.
So we are getting some notoriety.
Good.
Okay? And we have a transportation program for people who can't get to the events that are being held. This is for anyone. It's for seniors and young people, whether it's due to a disability or mobility issues. And it's the same phone number, and you would email sageli at lgbtnetwork.org. Now, the last program I have, we met the most beautiful transgender woman yesterday. Oh my God. Her name is Aida, and she was just wonderful. There are a lot of support services for transgender, and they're held at all of the centers, the Woodbury Center, Bayshore, and Hamptons. They are social and discussion groups, and it's so important. If you're home alone and you don't know about this, you need to know that there are places where they speak the language, and you're welcome, and you're loved, and it's just a wonderful thing.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
You.
Mary.
You should be the LGBT Miss Congeniality.
All right.
All right. Excellent segment. Eileen, thanks for your input.
Thank you,
Mary, another
Howie.
great job. And Mary, what can we expect
Much.
next Sunday to come down to Ponchos? What can we expect next Sunday?
Oh, yeah, Miss New
Dazzle.
York Senior America will invade the Halftime Howie Show. We have singing and dancing by the seasoned steppers. We're also going to announce our pageant is coming up July 29th at the Madison Theater at Malloy College. We'll be talking more about that next week, but next week is just pure fun and pure entertainment from the sassy, sensational seniors. And don't forget, if you have any questions or suggestions, you can email me at sensationalseniors2018@gmail.com.
Great job, Eileen and Mary, for a riveting,
Thank
wonderful
you.
segment. Excellent, awesome.
Thank you.